Today, I'm going to go over some tips and tricks for late game in 7 Days to Die. Now, we've got a lot of info to cover and no time to waste, so let's get to it. Tip number 1 is forges and chemistry stations, or heat sources in general. In the late stages of 7 Days to Die, you are going to be creating a lot of resources. You're going to have multiple forges going, multiple chemistry stations going, and you're going to be generating a lot of heat. That means you will have to deal with screamers galore. However, there is a simple little trick to avoid this, and that is get everything loaded and ready to go before you turn anything on. So as you see in front of me, I have 2 chemistry stations and 9 forges. I want to get these bad boys working before I head out for the day. So what you do is just head on over to each of the stations, get them all set up, but do not turn them on. Get them loaded with the items you want to smelt. Make sure there's fuel in there. Good to go. Your chemistry stations, you can actually go ahead and get whatever you're crafting ready to go. Get it turned on and then immediately turn off your chemistry station in preparation for the day. Now, once you're ready to rock and roll, go through and turn everything on at the same time. So we got our chemistry station here. Turn it on. Turn on all of your forges. There we go. So now I have everything on and ready to roll, and they're smelting down resources. They're creating things for me. Now it is time to vacate the area. Now you can go about your business. What you want to do is get everything turned on and then leave that chunk. Leave that area. If you are not in that area, the screamers won't spawn and you won't have to deal with screamer hordes. So when you're getting ready to head out for the day, load up your chemistry stations, load up your forges, and right before you head out, turn everything on at once, hop in your vehicle, and speed away from your base. Your crafting stations will continue to work, but you won't have to deal with the annoying screamer hordes. Tip number 2 is farming screamers for experience. Now, if you don't necessarily want to vacate the area, you can also farm screamers for experience. Turn on your forges, turn on your chemistry stations, hop in your horde base, and just wait. Eventually, you'll have a friend show up, a little screamer friend, and she will scream and bring in all of her zombie jerk friends to come join the party. Then all you have to do is get everybody's attention and farm the screamer horde as much as you want. Come on, little lady. So the zombies keep pouring up. As long as you do not kill the screamer herself, you can actually continually fight the zombie jerks. Although it looks like my my turret there accidentally took out the screamer. But that's okay, because we're going to have more screamers showing up in a matter of minutes. The screamers will keep showing up over and over and over again. They will keep screaming and keep bringing in more and more zombie jerks. Now, this is honestly better done at night because the zombies will run, meaning they'll get here much, much faster, allowing you to kill more zombies and gain more experience. Once you are all done, you've gained as much experience as you want. All you have to do is turn off your heat sources and the heat map will dissipate. That'll mean that the screamers will no longer spawn and you can go about your merry business. So there we go. Our forges are off, meaning our heat level will dissipate and we do not have to worry about the screamers spawning again. Farming screamer hordes is a great way to earn experience in the late stages of 7 Days to Die. Tip number 3 is upgrade experience. Once you get to the later stages of 7 Days to Die, it can be difficult to level up your character. It takes a lot more experience to get to the next level. Well, one of the easiest and fastest ways to gain experience in 7 Days to Die is actually not by killing zombie jerks. It's actually by upgrading. Allow me to demonstrate. So we have Zombie Arlene here. She has been so nice as to volunteer for this little demonstration, and we're gonna go ahead and smack Zombie Arlene in the face with our club. Hi, Arlene, sorry. As you see in the bottom right-hand corner, we gained 413 experience. Now, let's go ahead and come to the rebar frame here. We're going to upgrade this. And you'll notice we gained 480 experience. So we gained more experience by upgrading a rebar frame than we did by killing Zombie Arlene. Upgrading blocks is the fastest way to gain experience in 7 Days to Die. And by the late stages of the game, you should have a good stockpile of resources that you can use to upgrade blocks. So if you're looking to gain some extra levels at the late stages of 7 Days to Die, the best way to get there is by upgrading blocks. Now you also want to make sure and toss on your nerdy glasses, because that will give you plus 10% XP gain as well. And you'll also want to down yourself some Grandpa's Learning Elixir. Now this lasts for 4 minutes and gives you a plus 20% XP gain. So what I would recommend to do is build your structure out of rebar frames. Once you get it all ready to go, toss on your nerdy glasses and down yourself some Grandpa's Learning Elixir. That'll give you plus 30% experience. So we have our nerdy glasses on. We're gonna go ahead and drink our Grandpa's Learning Elixir. Now this rebar frame upgrade gave us 480 experience last time. Let's see how much we make this time. 503 experience just by upgrading a single block. Now imagine having 100 blocks or 1,000 blocks. By upgrading all of those blocks, you are going to be making thousands upon thousands upon thousands of experience. It is extremely fast to gain levels by upgrading blocks in 7 Days to Die. Tip number 4 is forward operating bases. Now, as we've already discussed, the fastest way to gain experience in 7 Days to Die is by upgrading blocks. However, in the late stages of the game, your horde base and your home base are probably already fully upgraded to steel. So in order to take advantage of the insane amount of experience that you gain by upgrading, you are going to have to get a little creative. And one of my favorite things to do in the late stages of 7 Days to Die is to build a forward operating base, like this one right here. This is a simple 9x9 structure that I created out of rebar frames and then upgraded to reinforced concrete. It was a total of about 200 blocks, and once you wear your nerdy goggles and drink your learning elixir, that equates to over 100,000 experience just by creating this little FOB. Now, if you build one of these little structures next to every major city on your world, you'll be raking in millions of experience. Now, what exactly is the FOB good for? Well, you can use these as stash houses, so once you get done looting up a city or doing some quests in a city, you can stash all the loot and gear that you've gotten inside your FOB. You can also keep them stocked with food and water, medicine, and extra ammo. That way you do not have to go all the way back to your home base. It allows you to thoroughly loot an entire city without having to go back and forth between your home base and the faraway city. Then once you're done for the day, you can consolidate your loot, grab whatever you want to take home with you, and make one single trip back to your home base instead of having to run back and forth constantly. It is a great time saver. Plus, the experience you gain by building these little structures is insane. So I would highly recommend creating a simple forward operating base on the outskirts of every city in your world. Tip number 5 is build for fun. Now, it is no secret that I believe the building in 7 Days to Die is one of the funnest aspects of this game. Once you get to the late stages of this game, you're going to have an abundance of resources. However, again, your horde base and your home base are probably well established and already good to go. So instead of hoarding your resources, build for fun or build for convenience. I have seen some extremely creative builds in 7 Days to Die. People building skyscrapers or gigantic bridges that span huge distances or elaborate roadway systems. The possibilities are endless. Not only are you going to have fun by doing these builds, but you're also going to be raking in boatloads of experience. So in the late stages of 7 Days to Die, work on some creative and fun build ideas. Now, if you're finding these tips helpful and or enjoyable, be sure to click that little red button and subscribe to the channel. You will find a whole host of tutorial videos covering a wide range of topics. But now on to the next tip. Tip number number 6 is check your weapon stats. Now, just because you have your quality 6 weapon, don't automatically think that that weapon is absolutely the best that you can get. Because in 7 Days to Die, weapon stats are variable. Not every weapon is spawned with the same stats. So here we've got our tier 6 steel club, all fully modded out. We've got a melee damage of 48, power attack 74, block damage of 41. But while we were looting, we happened upon a second quality 6 steel club. And if we take a look at the stats of this bad boy, you'll notice that the power attack and block damage of the looted steel club is actually higher than the steel club that we are currently using. Now, when comparing weapons, the stats that you see do not include the boost that you get from weapon modifications. This is just the straight weapon stats. And we can see by this right here that this new looted steel club is actually better than our current steel club. So what we can do is go onto this bad boy. Let's take those mods off of the old one, slap them back down onto the new steel club, and now you'll see our melee damage is 49, power attack is 75, and block damage is 42. So even though these are both quality 6 steel clubs, these stats are variable, meaning before you go and sell a newly acquired weapon, double check that the stats on that weapon are not better than the one that you are currently using. Tip number 7 is maximize the resale value of your loot. For quality 5 and 6 gear, I would highly recommend modifying those items before you sell them to the trader. By simply adding in some very cheap and easy to craft modifications, you can dramatically increase the amount of dukes that your item will sell for. For instance, let's take a look at this steel club. It has a sell price of 1,512 dukes, but if we modify that steel club, now it has a final sale price of 4,104 dukes. Now, by this stage in the game, you probably have a whole bunch of modifications lying around that you're never going to use. Go ahead and slap those mods into your weapons, armor, and tools that you intend to sell in order to maximize the sell price. Now, I would only recommend doing this on quality 5 and quality 6 gear. Anything lower than that does not really seem to be worth it. But quality 5 and quality 6 is definitely worth it. You can dramatically increase the sell price of those items. And if you don't have the mods lying around, I'm sure you have ample resources to create some very basic modifications. The mod itself does not matter. Simply having a mod on the weapon is what counts. You'll get the same price increase from the most expensive mods as you will from the cheapest mods. So save up all of your really cheap or easy to craft mods and use those to boost the sell price of your high quality gear. Tip number 8 is Duke's Casino tokens. By the late stages of the game, you are going to have an overabundance of Duke's Casino tokens. Just by utilizing tip 7 alone, you can earn hundreds of thousands of Dukes. But what exactly should you do with these Dukes? You have all the weapons and gear that you're gonna need. You have your vehicles all sorted out. So what should you use your Dukes on? And the answer is very simple. Duke's Casino tokens are the best source of brass in the game. Simply open up your forge and you can smelt an entire stack of 20,000 Duke's Casino tokens into the forge for brass. Once the brass is smelted into the forge, you can turn that brass into bullet casings. In the late stages of the game, ammunition can become a problem. But because you're earning so many Duke's Casino tokens, you will never have to worry about collecting brass. And since you can put a full stack of 20k into the forge at one time, you do not have to babysit the forge. That 20k is going to take a while to smelt down, meaning you can spend your time going back out, doing more quests, getting more gear, and earning more tokens that you can smelt into brass and turn into bullet casings. So in the late stages of 7 Days to Die, Duke's Casino tokens are an endless source of brass. They are so incredibly easy to earn that you will never have to worry about brass again. Tip number 9 is demos are no joke. The demolition zombie in 7 Days to Die is extremely dangerous. The regular attack by a demolition zombie does a crazy amount of damage to your blocks. However, the most dangerous aspect of the demo is the flashing green button on the right side of his vest. By hitting this button, you will send the demo into self-destruct mode. All of the charges on the demo's vest will explode, dealing a crap ton of damage. Now, in the late stages of the game, your horde base is more than likely going to be upgraded to steel. This is definitely a good thing because steel has high explosion resistance. However, that will not 100% protect you. If multiple zombies go off in the same place, they can easily destroy your steel blocks. Allow me to demonstrate. So here I've got a little horde base that I've showed off before. Really simple design, nice little walkways that the zombies will have to pass, and we have the demolition zombie right here on the walkway itself. So what we're gonna do is actually go ahead and detonate this demo zombie. So we're gonna hit his button. Boom, he explodes. And you'll notice our walkway is still looking pretty good. Not too bad, we have nothing to worry about as of yet. However, that will not last long. Let's bring in another demo and let's do it all over again. And here is demo number 2 in the exact same spot. We're gonna go ahead and get his button activated. Step back a little bit. Boom, he explodes. And now you'll notice that our structure is really starting to take damage. And here we have demolition number 3. Let's go ahead and activate that button, get him to explode again. Boom. Now you see that every single one of these blocks here is now down to reinforced concrete, and it has already been damaged. Let's go ahead and bring in one more demo. I think one more demo will do it. And here's demo number 4. Let's get him to explode. And boom, there you go. Now, our horde base is completely compromised. The zombies no longer have a direct path to us. So now we've brought in a whole bunch of zombie Arlenes. Some of them are pathing up thinking they can reach me, but because my horde base is destroyed, the walkway's destroyed, they're actually gonna start banging down here, and they will completely destroy the base of my structure. So do not underestimate the demolition zombie. It does not take many explosions at all to completely compromise your horde base design. Make sure to take out the demos before they explode. Tip number 10 is don't get cocky. Even in the late stages of 7 Days to Die, it is very easy to get overwhelmed and killed by the zombie jerks. Just because you have high quality gear, do not allow yourself to get cocky or complacent. That is a very easy thing to do in the late stages of 7 Days to Die, but it can also be very dangerous. Just because you have the highest quality gear that you can possibly get does not mean that you are indestructible. You can easily get overwhelmed and killed by the zombie jerks if you are not careful. So as you're making your way through those tier 5 POIs, be very, very careful, or else this could happen. Oh God! Oh God! No! No, 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 no! No, no! Oh God! I glitched through the floor! I'm safe! By getting cocky and thinking that you are indestructible, that is a great way to end up right here. Even in the late stages of 7 Days to Die, even with top quality weapons and armor fully kitted out with the best mods you can get your hands on, it is still very easy to get overwhelmed and taken down by the zombie jerks. So don't get complacent and do not get cocky. Always be on your guard. Now, if you'd like to learn more tips and tricks for 7 Days to Die, I've created a very special playlist that you can access by clicking the box in the top right corner of the screen. But for now, this is Saven saying thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me in Saven's World. And remember, the average gamer is always king of the hill on the bell curve.